Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome once again to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as always, in the YouTube channel, youtube.com/NoDQCW. Got a lot of questions here from formspring.me/Aaron Rift, so let's get right down to it. First one today comes from Crimson Wing 5. Hey Aaron, love the show. First time asking a question. Alright, we have a newcomer here, and we have the cat meowing in the background. If you were to turn John Cena heel, how would you do it? Shout out from the UK, please answer in video. Well, it's your first question and you're already being demanding. Alright, as far as turning John Cena heel goes, you know, everybody asks about it all the time. How would you turn John Cena heel? What would you do to get the people to boo him and actually make him a heel and not have the cat meow in the background? It's a tricky question because if you turn John Cena heel and you change up his character, you're going to have the male fans cheering him, and then you'll have the women and the children perhaps booing him at first, but then they might be cheering him as well. So how do you do it so that you have the people booing John Cena, all the people booing him? I don't know if that's even possible. I don't know what you would do to change his character around. I mean, if you're going to change John Cena's character, I think the first thing you have to do is have something slowly build up to it. You just don't want to abruptly change his character to the point where it makes no sense. When you look at Hulk Hogan's heel turn, the way they did it, they played up on real life. So, I mean, that's one way you can go. And, you know, it was something that was building up. People were booing Hulk Hogan. He was able to come out there and just say, you know, for all these years, I did everything I could for the charities. And then the way you fans treated me, you can stick it, brother. So with John Cena, you know, they can do something similar to that. I would have him go on a losing streak. You would have to break John Cena to the point where he completely snaps and goes through this big change. So, you know, make it a long process over several months. You know, something similar to when Bret Hart turned in '97. It wasn't something that just happened out of nowhere. It was something that had built up for several months, and finally it led to Bret Hart snapping and just lashing out at everybody. So I mean, that would be the way to do it with John Cena, I think. But even if you do that, I still see a lot of people cheering for John Cena. I mean, to a lot of the WWE fans, at least the male audience, John Cena is a heel right now. You know, he's a heel to them. So it is kind of tricky how you would do that. But I mean, that's what I would do. Something similar to the past successful heel turns like Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart. Alright, this one comes from KJC1989. I think even if TNA fired the overpaid, brought in a new writing team, and were putting out a great product, they don't have the mainstream exposure to make casual fans notice. I wonder what can TNA even do to get on the radar? Your thoughts? Well, it's not something that's going to happen overnight, turning TNA around and getting the audience to a level you want it to be, and you know, making TNA more popular with the casual audience. The bottom line is that TNA has gotten some big exposure in the past. When Hulk Hogan made his debut and TNA went on Monday nights against WWE, that first night they did a very good rating, and Hulk Hogan's debut actually did close to right around 3 million viewers. And you know what? The people just quickly tuned out again. So it's you know, you want to do something that gets people talking about TNA, but you want to have a product that people will tune in, they'll see it, and they'll like it and stick with it. So I mean, that's the key, and you know, they might just have to slowly build it up. I don't know if you know, the TNA brand can ever be recovered. I mean, it might be damaged enough to where it doesn't matter what they do. You know, people associate TNA with a bad product. But you never know. You can't rule them out completely. I mean, they could come up with one hot angle, one hot character, and things could start to turn around. You just don't know. But yeah, I mean, it definitely takes time. I mean, when you look at WWE during the Monday Night Wars, when they started to improve their product and make it more cutting edge, and the Attitude Era started to get kicked in the high gear, I mean, they didn't beat WCW in the ratings right away. It took about a year to a year and a half of one great show after another, great weekly television, for WWE Raw to finally catch up to Nitro. It took them a long time, and I'm sure that people in WWE were frustrated at the time because they felt they were putting out a better show, but it wasn't reflected in the ratings. So I mean, it's something that takes time, and TNA's not at that point yet. But if they start stepping up their game and producing better shows over time, they can get the word of mouth out there and perhaps start to be on good terms and create goodwill with the fans again. I mean, that's the problem. Fans don't want to believe in TNA right now, and even going back to like 2004, 2005, you had fans that were behind TNA, and TNA was slowly starting to build up momentum, but that eventually got wiped away. So yeah, it's going to take time, and it's going to take a lot. I don't know if it's possible, but crazy things happen in this world, so cannot rule it out. All right, this one comes from Teeny Tiny 123. Hey Aaron, just curious, why do you think Antonio Cesaro joined WWE? Many believed he was an indie god, and now he is being mistreated by WWE. Personally, I think he deserves a main event run, as he is also good on the mic. Your thoughts? Please answer in video. Well, here's the answer. Antonio Cesaro went to WWE because that is ultimately the goal for anybody who wants to be successful at what they do. WWE is the big show. It's the big game in town. That's where the big money is. And if you're not in the business to make money, you're a damned fool. And, Antonio Cesaro is doing well for himself. He is traveling the world. He's making good money. I don't think it's a big deal to him that he is, being mistreated, as some people might put it. The guy is got a great job. Now, should he be pushed in the main event? I mean, some people think so. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but, the guy is living the dream right now. And there are thousands of wrestlers out there that wish they could be, a mid-carder in WWE, just to be able to be on Raw or SmackDown every week and have a role on television. I mean, that is a dream for thousands and thousands of potential wrestlers out there, guys that are training and trying to make a name for themselves. That is the ultimate goal, is to be in WWE. All right, this one comes from Welly01. Hey Aaron, do you think WWE should change all of their pay-per-views to 4 hours? Considering Raw is 3 hours long now, I think it could be a good idea to make every pay-per-view 4 hours so they could be a bit more special. Please answer in video. Well, why not 6 or 7 hours? I mean, enough is enough. There's already too much programming as it is. I don't want to see more television. I don't think I could handle it. I don't think my brain could handle another hour of WWE television to watch. And the fact is, fans get burned out. I mean, as it is, when WWE does the Raw taping and then they have main event and, they have Superstars and SmackDown, they have all these different shows they tape, fans get burned out after a while. I mean, I think 3 hours is long enough for a wrestling show without the fans getting burned out too much. Doing 4 hours is pushing it too far, and I think even with WrestleMania, it's too much. And as we saw by WrestleMania this year, definitely, I think a 4 hour, 5 hour show is not a good idea. It burns out the crowd, and I think it burns out the viewers as well. I think it's just too much. Definitely do not add another hour to pay-per-view time or Raw time or SmackDown time. Enough is enough. All right. Do you think we will see a CM Punk versus Paul Heyman match? Personally, I think it would be a good idea if you did the match at the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view. I think it would be a good way to end the feud. Your thoughts? Please answer in video. Well, I would not do a CM Punk versus Paul Heyman match, an actual match between those two. If you were going to do something like that where Paul Heyman would get beat up by CM Punk would finally get his hands on Paul Heyman. I suppose you could do a handicap match, do CM Punk versus Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, or Paul Heyman and Curtis Axel. You could do something like that. Or you could do like a CM Punk versus Curtis Axel match, or CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar, where if CM Punk wins, he gets 5 minutes alone with Paul Heyman, and you can do that. But doing a one-on-one match between the two of them, especially at Hell in the Cell, I would not do that match. I don't think that would be a good idea. With all due respect to Paul Heyman, when it was Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon, it was a different thing. Vince, You know, he went all out for that match, and he took the big bump off the cage through a table. Paul Heyman's not going to be doing that stuff, and you know, I don't think that that's a good idea. I think that that's pushing it a bit too far. You know, stick to CM Punk versus somebody like Curtis Axel or Brock Lesnar, and then, you know, have him hit the GTS on Paul Heyman, and you know, you'll get the result that everybody wants to see, which is Paul Heyman getting his ass kicked. All right, final question today comes from Second Cation. Did you go to Judgment Day 2004, which was at Staples Center, which is why he's asking? If so, what did you think about it? No, I did not go to Judgment Day. Honestly, I wasn't crazy about seeing JBL in the world title match. I was like, I'll pass on that one. But I kind of kicked myself for not going, because I really enjoyed that main event match, although it did end in the DQ or whatever it was, where they stopped the match. I wasn't a fan of that, but I mean, that was a brutal match. I mean, Eddie Guerrero was, I mean, that was one of the most graphic blade jobs I've ever seen. I mean, Eddie Guerrero got hit with the chair or whatever, and the blood was all over the ring. I mean, it was just really gruesome. And I would have liked to have seen a clean finish in that match, though. But yeah, I mean, just to be able to see all that blood and that whole part of it, I mean, that would have been something fun to watch in person. Don't really remember the rest of the pay-per-view, so I mean, it wasn't like it was this big show, and I felt at the time it was something I could have just easily said, you know, I'll wait till the next one, because, you know, it was not one of your main shows. You know, for SummerSlam I went to, and even No Way Out in 2008. I just decided to go to that because it was Elimination Chamber, and I wanted to see the Elimination Chamber in person. So I mean, that was the reason I went to that, even though it wasn't one of the main pay-per-views. All right, that'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQ&AV. If you like the cats, go to youtube.com/thecatdiaries. That is my other YouTube channel. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding SummerSlam. And I'll see you guys next time for more No DQ&A video. Thanks for watching.